In just 3 days, Squid Game Season 3 amassed 60.1 million views, breaking the record for most views in that time frame. Why can't we look away from a show that turns desperation into entertainment? In Squid Game, money isn't freedom. It's a collar. Players are chained by debt, medical bills, layoffs. They're not greedy, they're cornered. The prize is salvation, but every step toward it is lined with blood. South Korea's crushing household debt is the backdrop, but this isn't just a Korean story. Loans, credit cards, rent, medical emergencies. Everyone knows the feeling of owing more than you can pay. We're all in the game, just with different stakes. But if money traps the players, the real cruelty lies with those who watch. This video contains major spoilers for Squid Game. If you haven't watched them yet, go check them out first. Golden masks, silk robes. They bet on lives like racehorses, drinking while people beg for mercy. The VIPs don't just watch, they savor it. It's not fiction. Real life is full of people profiting off tragedy, turning pain into clicks, views, and cash. Squid Game doesn't invent cruelty, it holds up a mirror. And the worst part? We're watching too. But the real horror is what desperation does to the players themselves. And if you want a real-world mirror, look no further than South Korea's chaebols, powerful, family-run conglomerates that dominate the country's economy. These elite families often live by a different set of rules, shielded by wealth, and carry a legacy of entitlement passed down through generations. One infamous example is the Korean Air nut rage scandal of 2014. Cho Hyun-ah, daughter of the airline's chairman, forced a flight to return to the gate at JFK Airport because she was served macadamia nuts in a bag instead of on a plate. She humiliated a flight attendant and disrupted international operations, simply because protocol didn't meet her aristocratic expectations. The world watched in disbelief, but to many South Koreans, it was a familiar reminder. Some elites believe they are above consequences. In another case, Samsung's heir Lee Jae-yong faced multiple legal challenges related to bribery and corruption, including convictions and jail sentences, yet continued to walk free, returning to executive power as if nothing had happened. These men and women often act with the quiet confidence of royalty, seeing themselves not as citizens but as monarchs in a modern feudal system. What would you do if the only rule was to survive? Friends turn on each other, alliances break, promises mean nothing. Squid Game shows how easily morality crumbles under pressure. History proves it. Ordinary people can do unthinkable things when there's no other choice. That's why the show hits so hard. It whispers, maybe you're not as good as you think. But it's not just individual choices. It's the entire system designed to make people break. Numbered uniforms, surveillance everywhere. Players stripped of their names. It feels familiar for a reason. Schools, factories, military. We're trained to compete, obey, and sacrifice our identity for survival. Squid Game exaggerates it, but it doesn't invent it. It exposes the lie of fair competition, showing that even when the rules are clear, they're designed so most will fail. But if it's so dark, why does Squid Game become a global phenomenon, with 142 million households watching it on Netflix? It's not just violence or cliffhangers. Squid Game speaks a universal language. Debt, inequality, betrayal. It needs no translation. Candy-colored sets hide brutal truths. Games we played as kids turned lethal. It's unforgettable to watch, but even harder to forget. Netflix's marketing pushed it worldwide, but people stayed because it felt real. It told a story they already knew, even if they didn't want to admit it. And that's where the show lands its hardest blow, by turning the camera on us. Squid Game isn't about them, it's about us. We watch players betray, beg, and fall. We guess who will win. We're no different from the VIPs. We can't look away. It's not just entertainment, it's confession. It makes us ask, faced with the same choice, would you play too? In the end, Squid Game isn't just a show, it's a warning. A mirror held up to a world obsessed with winning at any cost. It asks one question we can't answer easily. What is your humanity really worth?